following program is classified G. It's suitable for all ages.
Tonight, throughout the globe, many countries are undergoing their hardest obstacle yet in the form of a worldwide pandemic, along with which Sri Lanka has been fighting its own battle against COVID-19. However, with many speaking out against government strategy, where our country's efforts too little too late? Has Sri Lanka done enough to save itself from the clutches of unsavageable economic and medical downfall? With many naysayers claiming the space of vaccination is to blame, is there any substance to these claims? Good evening, I'm Suzanne Shanali. Tonight, Derana and The Morning Investigates. The gravity and complexities of the COVID-19 pandemic are becoming more and more evident as health experts keep discovering new information about the nature of the virus and the pandemic. What they highlight most is that regardless of the nature of the infection, managing the pandemic is gradually processing that requires both prevention measures and treatment, and prompt action could make a considerable difference. On the home front, there were times when authorities took swift action, which, as mentioned, helped the country manage the spread of the pandemic. One such example is the very first lockdown, which was imposed before the situation got out of hand. However, whether we did the same with regard to the most effective solution the world has found so far, some parties have questioned whether Sri Lanka took the necessary steps to procure the vaccines at the right time, and some have been tried to attribute the present situation of the pandemic to alleged delay in commencing the vaccination drive. While the government and the health authorities have admitted that there have been some delays in providing and administering vaccines in certain areas at present, certain parties, especially opposition political parties, claim that there were serious delays since the commencement of the vaccination drive. We spoke to former Health Minister and incumbent Samagijana Balawegaya opposition MP Dr. Rajitha Senaratne in this regard. He added that at the initial stages of the pandemic, he had attempted to point out the importance of ordering vaccines as early as possible. However, the matter, he pointed out, did not receive adequate attention at the time.
Actually, even I in Parliament, I addressed the Parliament in about May 2020 and appealed to the then Honourable Health Minister Pavitra to book the vaccines as early as possible because the developed countries were booking in billions. I said that these companies can't produce in billions, so therefore there will be a shortage. So to book it early. Even the leader of the opposition also said the same thing. And even in October, again during the health budget debate, actually I appealed it again. Still the government has not booked. I said that these vaccines will be in the market by January 2021. So once it appeared in the market only, that the government placed their first order. By that time, there were no vaccines available because the countries were supplying for those who booked early. So therefore, we had no choice, and we were receiving only a very little vaccine from the West, but we had to depend on the Chinese vaccines.
So let it be a Chinese vaccine or any other vaccine, because we have 5 approved vaccines in the country. Those 5 vaccines are namely AstraZeneca, Sinopharm, Moderna, Sputnik and Pfizer. So all these vaccines are approved and proven that this provides or this creates immunity among the people who have taken vaccines. So there is no such proven documentation to tell this vaccine is better than that vaccine is better than this. So this is a myth and the dilemma running through. Everything has its own fair share of consequences and side effects. So within that context, which I would like to emphasize is the best vaccine is what you get the earliest.
Because of these delays, Dr. Senaratne claimed the commencement of Sri Lanka's vaccination drive was set back. He also alleged that the government had sought to depend on unproven, irrational methods such as the infamous Dhammika Paniya, a local concoction, to deal with the pandemic, and that such behaviours were another reason behind the delay in commencing the vaccination drive.
By the time it started, the country was in a mess.
He claimed that it also resulted in Sri Lanka not being able to secure vaccines with a higher efficacy rate.
So because of this delay, we couldn't actually receive the best of the vaccines. Actually, the Pfizer, the Moderna, those were the best actually with over 90% efficacy. But we couldn't get those vaccines in large numbers because they were not available in the market by now because they were supplying to those who ordered early. So we had to depend on China. So we had to pay more. The Bangladesh paid the Chinese vaccine $10 a vial. But we paid $15. We don't know what happened to that $5. And there were so many, they were trying to explain, but the Bangladesh, the Prime Minister's assistant, the Bangladesh Foreign Minister, then the Bangladesh Cabinet spokesman, they all maintained that the price was $10 for Bangladesh. And now later, actually the AstraZeneca was available for $2 and Pfizer is available for $5. Still the government continuously, they were importing Sinopharm for $1.15. We don't know what the reason is. So therefore, the efficiency in ordering was not there at all. It was very inefficient procedure, and only the Sinopharm vaccine is available everywhere. Other than the few donations received from the WHO and Western USA and other Western countries, that we received Pfizer and Moderna.
First and foremost, I would like to emphasize on the fact that there was no apparent delay because this global vaccination program is assigned and aligned through the Global Alliance for Vaccination and Immunization, the Gavi. So last year we actually made our submissions to the Gavi, to the COVAX facility, which was submitted in November, and there is a system that which had to run through. This is the market bonding and advanced market commitment. So we've already committed ourselves to get down vaccinations with the Gavi on the COVAX facility. Then again, running through that with the government-to-government negotiation with His Excellency the President, requesting from the Indian COVAX facility. So we were given a donation of the COVAX facility vaccine AstraZeneca as a donation, and which we started vaccinating the people from the 27th of January 2021. So apparently the processes has been taken up, the process been running through.
Janata Vimukti Peramuna Politburo member Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa also told us that the delay is submitting the relevant documents to place orders for the vaccine caused a delay.
That the WHO advised every country to submit the necessary documents or the requirement regarding the vaccines. But for the QUAX program, but from the Health Ministry of Sri Lanka failed to do that, failed to fulfill the requirements. That's why we couldn't get the needy amount of vaccines in the proper time. I mean, the readiness of the government to take the vaccines is very slow. During the parliament sessions, some of the opposition members raised that question. But anyway, we didn't see any readiness inside the government to take the vaccines early.
When queried about his opinion about the overall efficiency in the process of ordering and procuring vaccines, Dr. Jayasisa said,
We have good vaccination program since 1940 or 1950. So the health system in Sri Lanka is capable to do this vaccination program. Anyway, that's why we can see with the support of the three forces, the health ministry can implement the vaccination program very quickly. But the failure was in the commanding side. I mean, the initiation and the supervision. We saw in this regard there are some failures.
Meanwhile, Public Health Inspectors Union Secretary Mahendra Balasurya also said that there were delays in the vaccination drive. However, what he pointed out had more to do with the implementation of the vaccination drive than the commencement of it. He said that these delays had changed the original vaccination plan and that it had affected the pandemic's severity too.
ඔව් ලංකාවේ සෙසු රටවල් වලට සාපේක්ෂව ලංකාවේ එන්නත් කරන වැඩසටහනේ යම් ප්‍රමාදයක් මුල් කාලීනව අපිට දකින්න ලැබුණා. විශේෂයෙන්ම ගත්තොත් එහෙම ඉන්දියාව සහ අනිකුත් රටවල් වල එන්නත්කරණය ඉතා ඉක්මනින් සිද්ධ වෙදී ලංකාවේ එන්නත්කරණය සහ එහි එන්නත්වල භාවිතාව කුමන කාණ්ඩවලට කුමන ආකාරයට ලබා දෙන්නේද යන්න පිළිබඳව විද්වතුන්ගේ සාකච්ඡාවට සෑහෙන කාලයක් ගත වුණා. ඉතින් එහි යම් ප්‍රමාදයක් තියෙනවා. කෙසේ වුණත් විශේෂයෙන්ම කොවිෂීල්ඩ් වගේ එනතක් ඉන්දියාවෙන් ආනයනය කරලා තමයි ලංකාවට ප්‍රථමයෙන් ලබා දීම සිද්ධ කරේ. ඒ වගේම ඉන්දියාවේ ඇතිවෙච්ච තත්ත්වය මත ලංකාවේ ඉන් පසුව මේ එන්නතේ දෙවෙනි මාත්‍රා ලබා ගැනීමේ ගැටලුවක් මතුවුණා. ඉතින් ඒක මම හිතන්නේ වර්තමානයේ බලපාලා තියෙනවා ලංකාවේ සිදුවන මරණ ඉතා ශීඝ්‍රයෙන් ඉහළ යාමට. ඉතින් මුල් වකවානුවේදීම ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම ලංකාවේ එන්නත් කරන්නේ මීට වැඩිය ශීඝ්‍ර වුණා නම් මේ 60ට වැඩි ජනගහනයෙන් වයස්ගත ජනගහනයෙන් විශාල පිරිසක් බේර ගන්න පුළුවන් කියන උපකල්පනය අපිට සිටිනවා. ඉතින් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් දැන් අද මේ වෙනකොට කතා කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ. ඉදිරියේදී මේ සඳහා සැලසුම් කිරීම තමයි අත්‍යවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ.
He also expressed concerns about the manner in which the vaccination plan was changed.
එන්නත් කරන වැඩසටහන මේ වෙනකොට සිද්ධ කරන්නේ බොහෝ විට වයස් කාණ්ඩ ගත කරමින් මුල් අවධියේදී ලංකාවේ මේ වැඩසටහන සාර්ථකව සැලසුම් කරා සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශය මගින් විශේෂයෙන්ම 60ට වැඩි ජනගහනය සඳහා මුලින් එන්නත් ලබා දීමටත් ඉන් අනතුරුව 60න් 15 60 සිට 50 දක්වා ඒ වගේම 50 සිට 40 දක්වා මේ ආකාරයකින් තමයි සැලසුම් කරලා තිබුණේ. කෙසේ වුණත් මුල් වකවානුවේදී ඇතිවෙච්ච තත්ත්වයන් මත විවිධාකාර සහේතුක හා අහේතුක හේතු මත යම් යම් සිද්ධි දාම ලංකාව තුළ ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණා.
According to Balasurya, while some of these reasons were political, the nature of some of these reasons is not clear. Although we attempted to conduct production, supply and regulation of Pharmaceutical State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana in this regard, he was not reachable. However, speaking in Parliament on 7th September, he shed some light on delays that exist at present. In response to a question, he stated that certain Gramanildari areas did not receive vaccines adequately due to two reasons. According to him, China's prioritization of vaccination its own people due to the increasing of number of COVID-19 cases is one of the reasons for the delay in receiving the Sinopharm vaccine. He added that by 12th September, however, all districts in need of Sinopharm will receive the necessary doses. The other reason he pointed out was flaws in calculating the number of people requiring the vaccine in certain districts. He explained in some districts the health officials provide data as to how many vaccines those districts need. However, the number had been calculated based on the 2012 census. Due to this, in some areas there was a difference of around 3,000 to 4,000. What is the future of Sri Lanka's vaccination drive? What should we as a country expect out of this rollout? Find out next right here after this break. A lot of effort has been put into ensuring an effective vaccination drive within the country. However, some doubts have arisen within the public domain on the continuation of the rollout. Here's the rest of our investigation. Acknowledging the flaws in the vaccination drive, those who spoke with us expressed their opinions about the future of the drive. Balasuri explained.
ඒ වගේම තමයි තව කාරණයක් විශේෂයෙන්ම දැනට පවතින එන්නත් වැඩසටහනේ ප්‍රධාන දුර්වලතා කීපයක් අපි දකිනවා. එකක් තමයි මේක යම් දිස්ත්‍රික්කවලට විවිධාකාරයෙන් ක්‍රියාත්මක වන තත්ත්වයක්. සමහර දිස්ත්‍රික්කවල 60ට වැඩි ජනගහනය සඳහා එන්නත් ලබා දීම ප්‍රමුඛතාවය ලබා දෙද්දී සමහර දිස්ත්‍රික්කවල 30 60ත් අතර කාණ්ඩයේ අයට එන්නත් කිරීම සිද්ධ කරනවා. සමහර දිස්ත්‍රික්කවල 30 සිට සම්පූර්ණ වයස ඉහළ වයස් සීමාවන් නැතුව එන්නත් කිරීමක් සිද්ධ කරනවා. ඒ අතර 30ට අඩු ජනගහනය සඳහාත් ලබා දීමක් සිද්ධ කරනවා. ඉතින් මේ ආකාරයකින් පිළිවෙලක් නැති එන්නත් කරණයක් අපි ලංකාව තුළ මේනකොට දකිනවා. මේ වෙන විට අපි දකිනවා විවිධාකාරී සෞඛ්‍ය නිලධාරීන් එක්ක ආරක්ෂක නිලධාරීන් එක්ක ගැටුම් ඇති කර ගන්න තත්ත්වයක් ගහ ගැනීම දක්වා. ඉතින් මේ තත්ත්වය වර්ධනය තවදුරටත් ඉදිරියේදී වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ජනතාව අතර බීතිකාවක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා. දැන් ජනතාව අතර උනන්දුවක් ඇති වෙලා තියෙනවා මේ විශේෂ මේ එන්නත ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා. අපි විශේෂ ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්නේ මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවකදී ඉදිරි කාලේ මේ වසංගත තත්ත්වයට මුහුණ දීම සඳහා මේ එන්නත්කරණය තමන්ට ආසන්නම ප්‍රදේශයේ තමන්ට ආසන්නම ග්‍රාම සේවක වසමේ එන්නත් මධ්‍යස්ථානයකින් ඒ ප්‍රදේශයේ බාර ජනතාවට ඒ ප්‍රදේශයේ ජීවත් වන ජනතාවට ලබා දීමේ අවස්ථාව රජයක් විසින් එහෙම නැත්නම් අමාත්‍යාංශයක් විසින් ලබා දීම සිද්ධ කළ යුතුයි.
He also stressed the importance of keeping the supply of vaccines uninterrupted, adding that by doing so, the vaccination drive could be streamlined, which in turn will result in a decrease in COVID-19 related deaths. According to Dr. Sena Ratna, addressing the flaws in the vaccination process calls for what he calls a vaccination policy.
So now actually the government is not following any policy on vaccination or lockdown or anything.
He noted that a proper policy would help manage delays, deaths and COVID-19 cases, and that under such a policy, the priority groups and at-risk groups would be able to get the vaccines on time.
Now this is the classification of countries based on the level of risk of COVID-19. Now the first category is the green list, then the yellow list, then the red list. Where we are. We are in the special risk 6 country zone. Those countries, what are the countries? Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Philippines, Sri Lanka. So we are the worst 6 countries in the world on the COVID-19 epidemic. Now they say that we are leading in the vaccination campaign. What is the purpose? The vaccine can be administered now at a hell of a speed. But the problem is we are already delayed. We are already late. So how many deaths? Over 10,000 deaths. I think out of the 10,000, about 9,000 deaths, the government must take the responsibility because of their political decisions, not the medical decisions.
As of now, the vaccinated with a single dose is above 30, is about 128,23,147 people. With the second dose, it's about 94,14,851 people. So since we've started our vaccination program, extending that from the level of age 20 to 29 years, I think you would have seen on the past few days, there have been a lot of people enthusiastically coming. On the initial day, there was a bit of a, downfall on attendance, but still after they were educated, because this is the young crowd, this is the crowd which is going to take the future of the country. So that is where this decision was taken, to give them the vaccination at the earliest, because we'll have to scientifically think how can we vaccinate people with the available vaccination amounts, because we'll have to scientifically categorize them, and when are we going to give vaccine to which category of people. So this is the time which came up to this age 20 to 29, and these are the people who are going to take the future of the country, and which was decided to give them the vaccine all around the country, which has been greatly happening now. And I see a lot of enthusiasm in the young crowd, because these are the people who are much more connected, have much more connectivity to the globe.
Meanwhile, Dr. Jayasinghe noted that due to the increasing production of vaccines, Sri Lanka would be able to obtain vaccines like Pfizer-BioNTech, Moderna and Oxford-AstraZeneca more easily. However, he added that Sri Lanka first needs a proper program with regard to the type of vaccines it requires. He spoke of the issues in the ongoing vaccination drive, including changing plans diverse by health experts. Speaking in Parliament, Professor Jayasinghe explained, our initial target was to vaccinate those over the age of 60. Now we are vaccinating those between the ages of 30 and 60, and we are in the final stage of that process as only a small number of people from that category are left to vaccinate. We are now vaccinating those between 20 and 30 years, and we hope to vaccinate all above 20 years in 6 weeks. There shall be no issue as to the brand name of the vaccines administered to the youths, as studies have shown that there is no significant difference and that any type of vaccine could help strengthen immunity. He also spoke to the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, adding, Sri Lanka receives 100,000 doses every week as per the agreement signed in January this year. However, from October, Sri Lanka will receive more. We are expecting 4 million doses in October. As most of the individuals who spoke with us agreed and the health authorities have claimed, Sri Lanka is currently in the process of securing vaccines for the next few stages of the vaccination drive, and the country is carrying out a speedy vaccination drive. However, past delays do not belong entirely to the past. It is important to look back and understand as to whether there were delays, as by doing so, the authorities will be able to plan the future steps and to prevent the recurrence of the same. Thank you for taking the time to join us on Investigates. Investigates will return next week with another matter that affects you and me. Till then, see you soon.